Are you familiar with a place in Lagos, southwest Nigeria called Ajegunle? I'm almost sure you are, and I'm almost sure that the picture that comes to your mind is not a pleasant one. Well, Ajegunle is actually the smallest town in its local government area, and the environment around it also wears a similar face, which is a rural settlement, which seems to have defied development. But is that really the case for the area which existed since the colonial period? Well, let's see the issues in Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government area. You're welcome to Big Story. I'm JOHN-MEKWA. Welcome to Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government area in Badagry division of Lagos State. The area is occupied by over 57,000 people of various ethnic groups. The area is geographically divided into two: Ajeromi, which is made up of 5 communities, Tolu, Alakoto, Ibafo, and Dankaka. The other areas are captured as Ajegunle, which has 5 towns: Alayabiagba, Ayetoro, Onibaba, Awodiora, and Ajegunle, a town which has become the most popular in the area. Although Ajegunle has become popular as the birthplace for renowned artists and footballers, the perception over the years is of an area which is too dangerous and filthy to live in. Well, this notion has spread to a larger part of Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government area. The reasons for this negative outlook is not far-fetched. The roads are in lamentable condition. Pools of water have taken the place of tarred roads, notwithstanding either in the inner streets or major road. Wooden structures seem to be a norm here. Living apartments are in bricks which have seen better days, and many which are not supposed to house human beings.
It's not proper. They do not follow the law. This area you are looking at, you will go around of the area, you will see it. This place is not like this before. The late Bale car entered this place and he parked in the front of the palace. But for today, you cannot see any car enter from this Kumi again to this palace. Because when there is no leader to control the town, after the death of the late Bale there, everybody takes law into his hands.
Another thing that is very common on the streets and water of Ifelodun, Ajeromi local government area is waste. In bags and unbagged, heaps of the outcome of human activities seem to have no defined area for disposal.
We have Loma. We have Loma from the council, population of people in this area. There are many more than Loma workers. Loma people, they are trying their own best. But population of people, that's where it goes. And this canal, it consumes many housing, many streets from down there. And by the raining season time, it used to bring many garbage, dirty, from far distance. And it locates to this canal here, from this canal here to the White Canal, the Tinker area there. That's why you can see many dirty in the canal area here. And some streets day here, when that vehicle cannot come inside, Loma people don't have opportunity to come. And that's why they seize that opportunity in the overnight, bring the dirty in some way. And we are trying our own best. Anyone that we see in daytime like this, we used to caution them, we used to hold them, and we used to invite some normal Loma workers that come and see this person is throwing dirty. If you see, you can see back of this palace alone, they neat. Go to other side now, it's messed up. Because we don't give them chance to throw away any dirty here or to mess here anymore. We see them, caution them, catch them.
The area is bordered on the west by Apapa Wharf and Tinkan, and the link between Ajeromi and Apapa local government area is a canal. It is located in Ajeromi area and serves as a short travel to Apapa area of Lagos from Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government area. The site of the canal is, however, dire. This has obviously become a dumping site for the residents.
In olden days, this water you are looking at, so you cannot see pure water on top of this river. It was very so pure. When our father has any strangers, those a stranger that they want to, like somebody that came to come and visit them, they will just take them boats, put it on top of the river here. They will not even go far before they come back. And the fish they will bring out in this place, even the stranger they have, will hit and will pack, they will give him some to in place again. But look at it for today. You see how it is? And we have write a money letter to the government over this place. They now turn this cannery at dustbin. We have write to the Ministry of Environment about what is going on in this place. People living here, they are doing the same thing. We have a market. We have a market at Ayinke Market. We have a market at Boundary Market. We have a market at Alabagba Market. And we have a Papa Market, even very close to us here. Whatever anything they said here, they will bring it and throw it here. I have reports. We are even catch somebody. When you pick them, what they will tell you that is it the government has to be doing this. Now, we even inform the government by the letter we send to them. Let the environment, Minister of the Environment, let them have semi-office very close to the Riverna area here. So all these things when they are doing, it will be when we catch any one of them, we hand over them to them. When we catch them, we hand over them to the police station. Soon or later, they will leave them. And they will come back and be looking at us say, what is worrying this valley? You know what is going on in this government of today? They didn't give traditional ruler the power, the former power belongs to the traditional ruler before. No. We cannot say somebody do anything now. Let us do it in this way, not to handle the person against what the law say. We cannot treat against what the law say. Because whatever anything we are doing, we are also abandoned. We follow what the law say.
A ride on the canal leaves one wondering as to how the boats even move on the surface. Youth not gainfully employed have found ways to stay occupied. These wooden makeshift structures are their sanitary facilities. Many buildings here do not have conveniences, and these serve the purpose.
The reason that, as I say in first time, that some street day when the vehicle cannot come inside, so the little building when they have a shock away, but it's very difficult for them to pump their toilet out or to find way to rescue. So because the vehicle cannot come inside, that's why many people has maintained themselves to look for any way alternative to get their own toilet.
With so many youths left unemployed, many have easily connected this to insecurity, and this assumption may be correct because the suspects seem to be a part of the community.
No gates, both sides. Some people are entering through different places to loot our things. We have to loot posts, but when you call them, when we have problems, they don't answer us on time. Before they come, they have misbehaved and go.
The one that happened almost 2 months ago, they came to the streets and started cutting everybody, using lead to break people's door. One of my high chief, we call it, the title of the man is Ajeromi. As I'm talking to you up to now, I has never come back to his house. When these boys come, we don't know from where they come. We call the area commander, we inform the commissioner of police, the SSS, the chairman of the local government. We send all our people to them. Even my boys that are staying with me in the palace, they came, they cut his hand. When you, if I show you all the picture, you will. So, in fact, we are lack of security in this country. I'm telling you, We are lack of security in this country. Nobody was arrested as I'm still talking to you now. There's a difference of joints. But the funny part, the law agent, they are seeing the joint now. They are seeing the joint, but what did they do to that joint? The joint is still existing as I'm still talking to you now. When you point them, they will say any area that they fight, they do criminality something, that the traditional ruler of that area will be picked. It's punishment to the traditional ruler of that area if they pick us. Once happened at Ugboanko almost 2 or 3 months ago, then went and picked our ballet, almost 4 of ballet, taking them to Shagisha to detain them. That what is happened then to me. The ballet you pick, did he have any security? If those boys start, can the ballet point that this is boy? When they go, I'm telling you, when they pick those boys now, between some hours, you will see them, they will be passing again. So all that weaken us, we the traditional ruler, we are so weak. Not that we cannot hurt, but when you point, you mention, you give them the list of those boys that tolerate all the community, you will be surprising when they came back. They will be telling you, say, Bale, we have seen your job, we have seen your work. You ask them that they should not leave us. You tell them to do this. How we save?
We have had such reports and complaints from Ajeromi area. And I'm glad you are aware that a few days back we had an operation in that place. That operation is continuous and we're going to sustain it. When we arrest as police officers, the next thing we do is charge the case to court. What happens in courts is entirely left for the judiciary. It's not the police affair. So if you see them back on the streets, with the available offenses, definitely the courts are at the discretion to give them bail. But I assure you, as far as we are concerned in the police, we continue to do our best. That operation we started is continuous and is going to be sustained.
Another basic of life, water, is a need in the area. The irony of the fact is that the local government area is surrounded and even has some of its parts on water, but they lack potable water. Wells have been dug, but the water that's gotten from the well can hardly be called potable.
Basically, that kind of water is not good for anything. But in fact, the best intervention is to have, a borehole sunk for them, in those kind of scenarios. I know a lot of NGOs, a lot of multilateral agencies have been involved in giving, that kind of water supply to people who are deprived in that way. And also, but that's something when we're talking about on the long term or on the mid term, but on the short term, there are various simple things people can do to purify their water and at least get it to the point where, we can say it can be usable. There are simple methods. Of course, one of the simple things people can do is to boil their water. When you boil it, you kill the microorganisms in it that can cause diseases. But that is for microorganisms. There could be other minerals and even hard metals that can be in those waters. But boiling takes care of microorganisms. Also, people can filter their water, but that kind of water you must boil and filter. And then also, we have chlorine tablets, that people sell in the market. Is all over. There's one they call Lingard or something. Just getting those tablets and putting maybe in a 20-liter water, just about 2 tablets. That takes care of the microorganisms in the water, and they can filter it. Good enough. Filter clothes are sold everywhere in the market, so people can always have access to it and be able to prepare the water in a way that it can still be usable. But I think on the long term, the best thing that can be done is for such communities to have boreholes sunk for them.
The children have also been caught up in the web of the lack of infrastructure. Education here has faced equal challenges, if not more. Teachers who have braced up to start schools have not had their best of times.
Express 3 number what? 7 to 8. Okay.
It's a private school, but when looking at the building, it doesn't look like a private school because of the facilities and the people in the environment. Even when we decide to make it private school, the people in the environment cannot really pay and afford what it takes for their children to come to private school. But as it is now, we have the best, in the sense of the best teachers, qualified teachers that can really give them what the children really need. But because of the fact that we are in Ajegunle and parents cannot afford it, that's why we are like this.
Outside Ajegunle, both educational infrastructure and personnel are difficulties in Ibafo.
Our Ibafo primary school need to be reactivated. It used to be flooded. We need government to come and rescue us. Although government have been trying, but we want them to come to our aid. If there is a rainy season, that place, sometime our children will not be able to go to school because of the flood. The place is about below the sea level. I can say that because the gutter is above the school ground. They give us some teachers, but we still need more. We need more teachers. Superb have been trying, but remain the government to come into our aid in that. Although they give us, but we find out that most of the teachers are now retired. The multitude of retirement is too much now that the lapses are there in our primary school. So we want them to employ more people because people are now going in multitude. So they have to employ more people. We need more teachers.
With this mirage of challenges in almost all communities in Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government area, there's been questions like, have the various administrations in Lagos State abandoned the area over the years? Could this be the reason for the stunted development in spite of its proximity to the very busy port?
I could remember vividly there was a time when World Bank project came into that community. They invest so much on how to improve the lot of the residents in terms of infrastructural development, earthwise, road construction, even drainage. But all you see is that by the time they construct a drainage channel, come there the following week, the whole place must have been filled with refuse, garbage, and all sorts of waste. So you now think of who are the kind of people that reside in this community. So it's not as if government has not been doing anything. I could remember vividly, Lagos State government went there to do a kind of slum upgrading, but yet it defies solution. And up to today, you come and see the kind of houses they construct. And they consider it to be an investment. And people that reside in that place, they believe they live in a place of abode. But what you see is that it's like people don't want that place to be developed. And yet, if government has not been paying attention to that place, they have representatives both at local and at state level, even at federal level. So if government have denied them of their right, they must have rights to speak out. So it's not as if government has not been doing anything. But what I see is that, to my own personal opinion, what government does at Ikoyi, Victoria Island, Surulere, Apapa is much more pronounced because they have maintenance culture compared to those that live at Ajegunle, especially Idiori community in Ifelodun, Ajeromi, Ifelodun local government. So it's not as if government has not been doing anything. They hire people to carry refuse, waste from market, and they pay them, all those cash pushers, to come and use those things to sound-fill their land instead of using laterite. So it's as if they depend solely on waste to even develop their own parcel of land. So you can see the mentality. So in such a community, they develop high skin to all those what we consider to be illegal. And there is no way government will say they want to displace them so as to improve the something, to improve the community. So they consider it as if government is just bullying on them and just doing what is not right. So they enjoy staying in that slum.
Whatever we do, our grandson will pay.
Flipping the coin on what has been called challenges, environmentalist Dr. Victor Fodeke paints the picture of untapped potentials.
The area you talk about, Ajeromi, Ajegunle, and all those places there are opportunities for wealth, not for waste. There is nothing even called waste in the whole universe that God created. The waste that is your own waste there is the source of, it's a resource. In the United States, they call it material recovery. They don't call it, I mean, it's a sort of, they are called materials. Because the waste in Ajegunle alone can supply electricity for those areas using biogas. The waste in those areas, when you construct what is called a biogas digester to handle their waste there, in which the experience of Seattle, I'm trying to say right now that they started the recycling experiment in the whole world in the city of Seattle. 60% of their waste must be recycled. That is, they are taught to sort their waste at the source. The reason why we have waste management problem in Lagos and in Nigeria and in Africa is that we have never learned to see waste as a resource. You sort it at the source. People are trained from homes that you separate the degradable from the non-degradable. There's nothing called waste. So the same waste is used for agricultural purposes. It is used to generate electricity. In China, they have over 41 of those biogas digesters. In India, has over 15 million. England is trying to put about 1 million of those units. In fact, this country, Sweden, is importing waste from Norway and from other countries because they now use this waste to generate electricity. The first thing that you can solve it is seek first the kingdom of energy, and development will follow. We're talking about sustainable development right now, our sustainable development goals. We cannot be talking about sustainable development goals, which 2030 is just 11 years' time, and those places is a disgrace. It's a disgrace to humanity because the worth of a man is the life that he can get, because when we take care of this waste and we take care of the health of the people, the economy can bounce up. People who live in such type of area, the waste becomes a breeding ground for the mosquitoes. They are sick, they cannot walk, they are more of a liability to the economy and to the goal in which we have signed. Nigeria has signed to these sustainable development goals, and I'm very happy that the president was part of the people that signed it in 2017, 2018 in New York. It made Nigeria proud of that. Now, when you look at all the 17 goals there, the one that affect critically to those areas there, this is the time for Lagos State to set up a statewide committee to see how those goals can be met from grassroots to the top.
The reason for the focus of this episode of Big Story is not to cast aspersion on the state government or Ajeromi Ifelodun local government area, but to expose the potentials in the area as suggested by some experts. That's it for now. Let's do this again next week. I'm Ini JOHN-MEKWA.